So I'm Kenel Joseph. I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching English for more than 30 years. And I come from Haiti. I left Haiti, though, in January of 2023. The political situation of Haiti was so chaotic. Because my life was in danger, I felt that the best way that I could get out of harm's way was to come to the United States in order to continue, living.
For 167 years, ever since its revolution dislodged the French in 1804, Haiti has been torn by terror, bloodshed, and despair.
Haiti's government has imposed a state of emergency and a curfew amid surging gang violence.
Ugly unrest has plagued Haiti in recent weeks, with gangs controlling the streets.
In Haiti, we have a case in which the right is clear. We must act.
The situation became worse, I would say, from 2020 to 2023. Not only did you have a lot of kidnappings that were taking place, but you also had a situation where people were hungry, people were deprived of some basic needs. The government didn't do anything to actually help the people in need. It is rumored that the government is paying gangs to actually terrorize the people because they wanted to actually stay in power, they wanted to remain in power. So it is a very sad situation, it is saddening. It's not a new situation because I remember back in the days, if I go back to, let's say, when François Duvalier was elected in 1957,
Few people, it can be safely said, have been so badly used as the Haitians under Duvalier. His power was the power of the gun, his politics the politics of the firing squad.
The reason he was called Papa Doc was that he was a doctor. He was Director General under Dumas-Estimé, the Ministry of Public Health. He had gotten a scholarship where he came to the United States to study public health at the University of Michigan. When he went back to Haiti, he actually helped with the anti-yours campaign. François Duvalier actually helped eradicate that disease. And so this is why he gained a lot of popularity. That's why he was elected president, in 1957. Papa Doc, some people would argue that it's because of several attempts, on his life, several attempts on his children's lives that compelled him to do all those things, to remain in power because he didn't trust the army, and the army, was trying to overthrow him. So he created a paramilitary squad called the Tonton Macoute.
A band of armed thugs with absolute power of life and death, the Tonton Macoute, which could snatch men away and carry them off to a kind of hell. And the reality was not far behind the fable.
They would abduct, they would torture, they would kill without fear of being persecuted whatsoever. Your classrooms, your classmates can be spies, So that's why you have social studies teachers who had to use allegories and metaphors to criticize the government. So they could not actually speak freely because if they did, they would run the risk of being tortured or even killed. This is something that is rooted probably in Haitian politics. Those people, whenever they are in power, they just want to stay in power. They want to stay in power no matter what. my mother and my father did not, go beyond ninth grade, who could hardly read or write. They managed somehow to give me, a good education. Not one day did I ever miss one day of class because of non-payment. You can see, students, on the streets at 10 o'clock, at 11 o'clock. Why? Because, the school tells them to go home because they didn't pay the tuition. I can say that my father was instrumental in my mastery of the English language. I remember back in 1985, he bought me a dictionary, the American Heritage Dictionary. I looked at it. I could not make heads or tail of anything in there. As time passed, I picked up the dictionary again, and I started to make out the phonetic symbols on my own. I was very much interested in English. That's why my father bought me that dictionary. It's something that whenever I'm talking about that, it really gives me a lot of goosebumps, because had it not been for that, I wouldn't have been able to talk to you here, The very first thing that comes to my mind is VOA, Voice of America. I had to actually tune in every night on my shortwave radio, SW. So whenever my father was going to buy a radio, I said, make sure that it has SW, so that I could actually tune into Voice of America. Every night, I would listen without understanding anything. And I kept doing it. I kept listening until I could understand the first presidential debate between George Bush, Bill Clinton, and Ross Perot. When Duvalier proclaimed himself president for life, he actually thought that he had the right to name or designate his successor. So that's why when he died in 1971, that was his son, Jean-Claude Duvalier, baby Doc, who succeeded him at the age of 19 years old. Kept on practicing whatever his fathers, had started.
Long live the new king, baby Doc, Jean-Claude Duvalier, now at the end of his first year in power. A year in which it seems the winds of change began to blow in Haiti.
Jean-Claude Duvalier was facing a different political pressure from especially the American government. When Ronald Reagan asked him to actually ease pressure, because Duvalier regime censored the press. So we were denied the right to gather. We were denied the right to assemble, to talk freely. So this is why, as a result of that, you had a lot of radio stations, especially the Catholic radio stations, that started, criticizing the government openly. There were even journalists, activists, political activists, politicians who actually organized protests, demonstrations in order to, ask for the government to step down. There was a big protest in Gonaïves, the Tonton Macoute. They went to Gonaïves and they shot at the protesters and they killed 3 students. This is something that actually outraged, everybody, because those students were not part of the protests. They were not protesters, but the Tonton Macoutes killed them. And that was the last straw, okay? So after that, you had protests that actually spread to other, cities, of the country. And the rest is history. In February, Jean-Claude Duvalier was ousted, and that was it. When Jean-Claude Duvalier left in 1986, a lot of English shows, were aired on national television. So this is why I started watching, I think, Saturday Night Fever. There was, there were basketball games. I watched the basketball games just because of English, okay? I did not understand anything. Every time I had a chance to practice my English, I seized the opportunity. The way I started learning English on my own, I did not go to an English institute to learn English. I'm self-taught. Going into teaching, the teaching of English is something that came to me naturally. It started out with a former teacher at, in high school, Jacques Niquez, who was going on a trip to the US, and then he asked me to substitute for him. So when I went to that school, the principal looked me in the eye and said, "Is that you, that Niquez, sent to replace him?" I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "What the hell is Niquez thinking? He sent a kid to replace him?" I was 19 years old at that time. I was fresh out of high school. He didn't say anything, afterwards. For a full minute, he let me stand there. That was an awkward moment. When I was done, he said, "Merci un peu, professeur. Thank you very much, teacher." And then he offered me an opportunity. He offered me a teaching opportunity at his school. That's how I started my teaching journey. I'm passionate about teaching. I love teaching. I feel comfortable in front of a classroom. I always try to polish my craft, to help students understand, to help students achieve communicative competence. As a good transition, I decided in 2005 to host a show on the radio, started teaching English over the airwaves.
From the studio of Radio Ibo in Delma, Haiti, this is Go for English, and I'm Kenel Joseph, your host.
And callers would call in. I used to involve them in the learning process, asking vocabulary questions, grammar, the American culture. We actually gave scholarships, and then they would go on to study English in an English institute. In 2009, I was selected to be one of the recipients of a training program was going to be held at USF, the University of South Florida, where 17 Haitian teachers and 20 Dominican teachers came to get not only teaching methodologies, but also to see the practical use of democracy, here in the U.S. And it was quite an enriching experience. That was one of the training sessions that really made me a better teacher, that made me understand, a lot of things as far as democratic principles are concerned. So I am a better teacher because of that.
How does it feel holding a similar book, to know that your father gave you something that this kind of started your entire profession?
Yeah, great feeling. I throw back, going back memory lane, I would spend days, hours, browsing through it, looking up words.
It's amazing how a book can give you hope.
Yes, yeah, it has answers for everything that I wanted to have. So once a book, answers your questions, you find yourself, you find answers to questions that you've been asking. So this is the book that will be stuck with you. It gives me a lot of hope.